everyone, this is Denise at Something Beautiful Handcrafts, and I'm currently working on a 1870s, maybe a little later than that. It's a bustle pattern for an 18-inch doll. I got this pattern off of Etsy, and I'll put the link below if anyone's interested. So this is a PDF pattern, cut it all out, and I decided to start with the skirt, underskirt, bustle, and vest. I got this fabric from Walmart actually. I was there picking up some supplies before the snowstorm and saw this and it seemed appropriate. Didn't have too many patterns that were small and appropriate for dolls. So when I get a chance, I'll go up to Joann Fabrics. Or maybe I think we have the pins and threads here and see what is there. So I cut out the skirt and this, the bustle and the vest, and the lining in some cotton. My dad brings home these cotton rags from work, and it's a really nice light cotton, almost like even thinner than bed sheets. Really nice. Perfect for sewing. So I cut the lining out in that. Now, this is so cute. There's a skirt front, two sides of the skirt, and the back of the skirt. And basically let me show you the skirt. It's turned inside out at the moment. But you pin those together. And I hand stitch these because a lot of times when I do the doll dresses or even some of my regular clothing, I like to, baste them or just kind of do a straight stitch really quickly. And it gives me an opportunity to try them on myself or the doll or the dress form. And if it's something that didn't really like, I can just clip the stitches and restitch it. And actually, I've been hand stitching for years, really, hand sewing. So my seams are strong enough to hold themselves. But if I wanted to go back and have a neater seam, I can just take it to the machine and run it. But it's not like the doll's going to be doing any exercises in this. So these will hold just fine. They're nice and neat and they will work. So basically pinning the front and the two sides together, run that with the usual 1/4 inch stitch, and then the back of the skirt, sew up to the center back. And of course, this is where the opening is for the closures, and then stitch that to side C, and bam, press out your seams. Then I'm going to join these two together. It's the same with the vest right here, stitching the top. I'm going to stitch these linings together and then turn them inside out and finish them up. Now, what was really interesting was the bustle. Let me show you the apron real quick. I'm still working on the apron. It's just one big piece that's going to get gathered and snapped. The bustle was really cool. So the bustle was 2 pieces, which were sewn kind of like in a sort of a trapezoidal pouch shape, and then run the seam halfway down the middle, gather up from that bottom to the middle, and then fold your 2 pleats in and baste those guys down. And for this piece, they were sewn right sides, and then you just flip it over, tuck it, and sew that together. And then you've got a nice bustle piece that's going to attach the back of the skirt. Gonna put 2 snaps here for that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hand stitch up the underskirt, join it to, or the petticoat, join it to the overskirt, pleat up the apron, and I will get back to you. These are some serious, like, big jumps, but it would pretty much take forever for me to show you the whole process. Though I can, if anybody's interested, I'll just walk through one. In particular because I've been hand sewing this, which you can see from the seams up here. Then again, maybe you can't. The hand sewing turned out pretty good. I usually keep my stitches fairly small. Now, the ruffle that was in the picture, I wasn't a big fan of it, and it was less of a ruffle and more like a large area of pleat. Maybe it was going to be 3 inches. It was going to be wide, and I really didn't like the way that looked. And so I considered leaving the long pleat off, but of course the skirt does not reach the length it should reach if I want to be accurate, which of course I do. So I need to do something to the bottom. And at first I was going to do a series of 2 pleats, and decided against it, though I'm really thinking now maybe I will put the lace underneath here. So instead, I decided to gather it and add the gathers, which was nerve-wracking. But they seem to have come out really nicely. I haven't done the same for the underskirt. I'm thinking that instead of cutting another strip and ruffling it, that I might put the lace underneath. I've got lots of lace. Put that lace underneath there. I'm going to go ahead and finish the insides of these. And I will show you more of the outfit. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the finished outfit. Like I said, I jumped a lot of steps, but if you actually want a video where I go through the making of the pattern, I can always do that. Now, let's see. Let me just rotate her so that you can see it completely finished. That ruffle could stand to be steamed down. And I think this is a conversation that Bernadette Banner had once on one of her videos, is how much finishing a garment really needs. She had some extant garments and she had shown how the seams were not completely finished on the inside of the garment. And you can still get some garments where the seams are not felled or French seamed on the garment. That was not necessarily the most important thing. And when you're making garments, especially ones that only you are going to wear or are in a historical context, you can decide what level of finishing that you plan to do for the garment. For instance, no one's ever going to see the underside of this apron. So if I completely turn the hems, fell them, or French seam the insides of the shirt, that may not be really important. So that's always a thing to decide when you're making clothes. Okay, so I'm going to start taking this apart so you can see this. This little handkerchief right here is from the American Girl Felicity pattern. It's just a square with some lace around it. And I saw a photograph in the 1890s of a woman who had a handkerchief hanging from her dress, from the buttons of her dress, and found out that Victorian handkerchief clips were a thing. I'd never really thought too much about it. I never really seen anything hanging from the front of the garment. Women holding handkerchiefs and inside the skirts, inside of pockets, but I've never seen one clip, so that was pretty cool. So I just clipped that one on there to her vest. Okay, let's see if I can get this off. And the thing about lighting, you know what? Even in the other house, it was still a thing about lighting, is that there's so many windows in this house. Let me just take this off. There's so many windows in this house. I'm always trying to find a spot where the lighting is going to be good. So hopefully there won't be too much glare. Okay, here is the vest, and it is lined. And it can't do without that. It's going to give body and fullness to the vest. So that definitely was a no-brainer. I just got this little cap pinned on. There's supposed to be more decorations on the cap to make it more 1890s, but I didn't really like it, so I didn't finish it. I started it and I was like, and so I just stuck it on because I had it. Okay, now for the sleeves, when the instructions first said to put this ribbon on the sleeve, I couldn't really figure out what the purpose of it was. I really had to take a good look at the pictures because in the pattern it doesn't tell you what that's for. And that's when I noticed that her sleeves were gathered and there was a bow at the corner. And of course the instructions never said to gather it. So I was like, oh, that's what that string is for. So it's just tied around the wrist to provide that little bit of lace here. There is supposed to be blue lace on the shirt to echo the lace down here. I just haven't decided if I like it, so I didn't put it. Just put it around the sleeves. Okay, this is the bustle. And this bustle is detachable, which is true of bustles in that particular bustle period, depending. There were some bustles that were attached to the jacket, some that were detachable, attached to the skirt, attached to the apron. This one is attached to the apron, and it's done by the snaps. And this is a big bustle, and it is just the cutest thing. Okay, it looks like a gigantic bow. Then there's the apron. You see the tiny little snaps here. The apron is just tied on. And I actually did quite a bit of finishing with the apron. Okay, we're left here with the skirt. Really like how this turned out. I actually did put the lace at the bottom of the skirt instead of duplicating the ruffle. And you know what? It's because I think I wanted something that was a little closer to the natural form. So I'm somewhere in between. And the whole bustle era, if you look at the pictures during that time frame, you'll see that they change a whole lot. I'll get that a little closer so you can see the ruffles. So this underskirt is actually attached to the main skirt. It's more of a lining and less of a petticoat. Okay, and it's attached with a hook. This is a nice weight skirt. Really nice weight. It was, the cotton's pretty nice even before the lining. The lining just really makes it nice. Okay, so look how see the body it has even when it's just lying there. That's a nice stiff skirt. Okay, so what we have left, the shirt is attached with a snap. And I did finish the inside of that. I did. It's got some interfacing on it. If you've ever made a full-size adult shirt, you just know interfacing is just the thing. It gives a shirt character and weight and richness. Okay, so this is her undergarments. Now, to me, if I'm going to bother and go ahead with historical dress, I might as well make the right undergarments because right undergarments make the shape. So it's kind of important. So we have her bustle pad tied on. I did not finish the bustle pad. And what I mean is that I did not finish the edges. And like I said, I have to decide how finished it needs to be because I'm the only one, except for you all, who are going to really see it. And so it performs its job just like this. If I was selling it or I wanted to demonstrate it, show it around, then I suppose I would just put a piece of ribbon across there or trim to finish the edge. But it's not a full bustle. I wasn't going for the full bustle. I was going for the sort of natural form, just a bustle pad. And here she is in her slip or her chemise. So we're down to our basics with a little bit of ruffle here too. And considering where the ruffle stops at, right below her bottom, this adds a little more poof to the outfit as well. Most of the American Girl doll clothing, a lot of it does call for Velcro. And I haven't decided. I think I might do snaps, but I just put a little safety pin in there for the moment. Okay, and that is the complete outfit for this particular bustle dress. Now, I've already started on, I think it's Eddie's coat. I'm working on her coat, and I got a pattern the other day for a Regency gown, and then I saw another bustle dress. So we have a few more projects we're going to work on over the next couple months. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day.